What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Today, I was doing my morning routine, skimming through all the notifications and seeing a video that I was tagged in. Watched the video, and it really reminded me of a situation that happened in prison. A situation that many people probably would never have the opportunity to experience because it's so rare, right? But what happens to lawyers, attorneys that go to prison? Are they treated like police officers? You would think so, right? You would think so, but this is what happened to the only lawyer I've ever seen in prison and how he got exposed. Now, today's story is coming from a prison called Powhatan. It was by far the worst prison I've ever seen. I've been to prison twice, unfortunately, seen about 5 or 6 different prisons, multiple cell blocks within the city jails. I've seen a lot. In this place, I could go into depth and detail on how it was the worst of the worst. I could make 3 episodes strictly based upon the living conditions. I mean, it was like living in a damn street alley with a cell door attached to it, But this prison, even me, woke up every day not knowing if I was going to be the victim that day. There were so many organizations taking advantage of people, and sadly, 99% of these people, except for the guy that I'm going to be telling you about today, were white. White guys didn't stick together. There wasn't no organization for the white guys that I seen. So I was seeing all kinds of extortion, people just going up to their cell with the pillowcase out. And look, you're going to give us a canteen or we're going to come in and take it. And we're going to rearrange your face while we do it. So people were giving it up left and right. And I'll never forget, man, they would go by tier because it was 4 floors, right? 4 tiers, and it looked like a row of cells that was probably a half mile long. It was a huge building with a lot of people, right? And they would go from tier to tier with their group of individuals and their pillowcase and get what they need to get. So every time they came to the 4th tier, I was prepared, man, right? I was prepared because I was buying canteen. I was strapped in that cell. I didn't know these guys like that, I've lit some cigarettes for some of them because I was in a cell where you had the opportunity to light things, and but that was about it, right? So every time they came to the 4th tier, I was ready, man. If they decided that day to stop in my cell, I was ready, and luckily they never did. They never did. They just kept on going. But man, I ain't gonna lie, every time they got close to the cell, boy, my heart would start pumping a little bit. But anyway, look, I don't even know if I mentioned this yet. I have such bad short-term memory loss. But this prison was a mainline prison, but it had a section of it that was dedicated to reception. Believe it or not, this was reception. A lot of people don't think that's gonna be the worst day, but it was for me. And in this reception side of things, they classify inmates. For those of y'all that are fresh to prison stories, classification is when an inmate has a bunch of points. They gather up their points to figure out which prison they're going to go to, which level prison. The higher the level, the worse prison, the worse lockdown status. But in the meantime, every one of these multi-leveled inmates are sitting in this building waiting to be classified. So you're in there with the worst of the worst. And people that might not should even be in there, the lightest of the light. And those guys were typically the ones that got but like I said, I've told you many stories about this place, people getting beat in the showers and them taking their state clothes just to see them walk back to the cell butt naked. I've seen got multiple guys get jumped in the staircase, and that's where the bulk of this story is going to take place. The staircase, believe it or not, this staircase, like I said, it was 4 floors, right? And it had 2 of them, 2 entrances. One went to this side of the tier, one went to the other side of the tier. And you go upstairs and you can link back up. There'd be tiers that connected both sides, but they had 2 staircases. And each one had a different organization that ran that staircase, I guess. They would group up in this staircase. It was like the damn projects, man, on a warm summer night, all white party, selling party. It was there in the staircase. And that was another time where, guys' hearts start pumping because you never know if you're going to be the one that they cold cock knocked out and just disrespected for the hell of it. Now, keep the staircase in mind. Yeah. Also, this is very vital because Uh, this is where I was when everything took place with this attorney. I was on the phone. Believe it or not, in this prison, the phone calls was like $11 to my house, and man, it was hard to use the phone. But I was on the phone because there's so many people, man, and I was on the phone, and this is when everything happened. But let's back it up to how this lawyer got exposed. After I done painted a little bit of this prison for y'all, I apologize. But go ahead, timestamp it if you want. This is when the story really begins. In this prison and many other prisons, especially reception, man, you get locked down quite a bit, right? Well, at least in Powhatan, they would lock you down for the majority of the day. So any extracurricular activities, yard time, church services, anything extra, anybody and everybody was going to it because, depending on the CO, we could be in there all day. You might not come out the next day. So, and it's reception. There's people that know people from everywhere, so they just want to get out their cell. Anyway, so church services call. Me, I know about the church services in prison and people. They get in a mix over there. They do dirt, but that don't get it twisted. It's like that with every single kind of program. Don't just single out church. Trust me, it's every program where people can link up. Someone's gonna do some dirt in it. Anyways, everybody's going to this church service, and we start filling out these little plastic chairs. It was probably like 200 chairs. There's a lot of people in there, right? And there was this guy, I think he was like the cadre. He was running everything. He was like a preacher as well. And a cadre is an inmate that might have done something very serious and got a lot of time, like 20 years to life. And his level was probably high at one point, but he was so good that he worked his way down to a lower level prison. And he might have liked that prison so much, he signed up to be a cadre, which means you can't be shipped. You literally stay at that prison and work there for sometimes life. These cadres are literally working at these prisons sometimes for the rest of their lives. But they know the ins and outs of the whole prison, right? They're like the Red from Shawshank Redemption, man. They'll get you anything. They know where everything's at. They know who, what, where, all that stuff. But this cadre, I guess, was running the church service, and he was doing his little preaching thing, and then he asked people if they wanted to tell a little testimony or whatever, right? And a few people got up, and finally this one dude got up, black dude. And I'll never forget him. He had glasses. And the glasses, keep this in mind too, because it's going to be important as well. For some reason, I'm just weird like this. But his glasses were like a ½ inch thick, right? ½ inch thick. And he stands up. And he's tall. He was tall. He wasn't really too heavy. He was like 6'2", just slender. And he stands up and he starts telling his testimony. And finally gets to the point where he says, I was an attorney. I was an attorney that got caught up in some shit, and here I am. If anybody needs some help with their case and they might be going to the prison that I'm going to, link up. I'm here to help you. In short, right? In short, he actually went into a pretty long and winded testimony, man. By the time he was done, I was like clapping just so you get the hell out of here. But at the same time, judging by how everyone reacted, I knew something was going to happen to this guy, right? It's my first time ever seeing a lawyer in prison. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm trying to remember if I've seen any in jail. I can't remember, but I don't think I have. This was probably the only occasion that someone actually opened up and told people about it. He didn't go into detail about his case, but when he started talking about he was an attorney, everyone stopped. Because everyone was kind of mingling a bit still. But when he said that, everyone stopped talking and locked eyes on him. I mean, he got everybody's attention in the whole little room, church service. And judging by that and other people's faces, I could tell that this guy is probably going to get got when he gets back, right? And sure enough, he does. And this is how it happens. I rush back. I'm rushing back from the church thing to try to get to the phone before anyone else does. Because like I said, there's a ton of people. And there's a ton of organizations, man. So even me jumping on the phone, rushing to jump on the phone before anybody else, is a risk. It was a risk that I was willing to take. I didn't give a shit. I need to use the phone, right? That's what I did in jail all day throughout the day was ride the jack. Jack is the phone. So I'm taking a risk doing that. And because there ain't that many phones, and usually the organizations get them first and they tie them up. They tie them up. They won't let you get the phone. That's why, you know, there's keys to survival in prison, especially when there's only limited phones. Maybe I'll get into that later on in life. But yeah, I get on the phone. I'm calling. No one answered. I'm calling again. No one answered. I was just trying to call my parents and let them know where I was at. I wrote them letters and stuff like that. But I mean, the phone system and the amount of money that it costs to call, it took me about a week before I could even try to. Anyways, I'm calling back, and I hear this commotion, right? It's in the staircase. I'm like, oh man, someone's getting jumped again. So I kind of just set the phone down. I'm looking over. I'm trying to see over there because it's right next to the staircase, but the staircase is blocked by concrete. So I was just trying to see if it was right there at the bottom half of the stairs where I could just peek around the corner. And I didn't see nothing, but I didn't get too close, and I didn't want to lose my spot on the phone, so I didn't leave the phone unattended or get too far away from the phone for too long. I didn't want someone else snatching it up. So I went back to the phone, and I tried calling again. And just a few moments later, the attorney guy comes rolling, because I said the staircase is blocked by a concrete wall, so you see the guy. He rolls down the stairs like that, and he hits the bottom floor. That's all I seen was him rolling, right? And his glasses, like I said, this is key. His glasses, when he was rolling, flew, and it was so sad, man. You know what I mean? Something about his thick-ass glasses broke my damn heart. But they beat this guy senseless, man. And the guard booth is literally right next to all this. But the commotion in the staircase came down, and they surrounded this guy that was on the floor. And the guards, I know for a fact, couldn't see him because there's so many people surrounding him. But I could see a little bit. And they were kicking this dude, spitting on him. And I'll never forget the whole damn time, man. I just wanted to pick up dude's glasses and help him out. You know what I mean? Even though he was an attorney and God knows why he was in there, it don't matter. You know, some things just pull at my heartstrings, right? And his thick ass glasses was one of them. You know, it's just he just had that look, a pathetic look to him. Like, even if you got mad at him and beat him up, you would still feel sorry at the end of it. You know, I know have y'all ever gotten in a fight like that? You really didn't like the guy, but you beat him up so bad, or he just looked funny to the point where you felt bad for him. But the COs eventually came in and got him, and I never seen him again. You know, and that whole scene, to be completely honest, you know what that whole scene reminded me of when I was watching it? Black Hawk Down. So yeah, I don't know if that's what happens to every attorney, but one big, huge piece of advice, if you are one and you go to prison, I don't think I would be telling anybody, even if you were a good attorney, right, helping people, I wouldn't tell not a damn soul.